Welcome to the West Virginia Universal Pre-K Program Review webinar. In this webinar, we will explore the process of the Triennial Pre-K Program Review. Before we get started, I would like to suggest that you obtain a copy of the PDF version of this webinar. By doing this, you can link to valuable resources when clicking on pictures throughout the pages of the presentation. Let's get started. The West Virginia Pre-K Steering Team will conduct a Universal Pre-K Program Review a minimum of once every 3 years. There are 3 main facets to a program review: desktop review, site visit, and county collaborative team interview. We will explore each facet of the program review throughout this webinar. Prior to the program review, the county collaborative early childhood team must develop a process to obtain family input on the county's pre-K program through completion of a West Virginia Pre-K Parent Survey. The West Virginia Pre-K Parent Survey is an online survey for parents to complete and submit directly to the West Virginia Pre-K Program Review Team. Parents should be provided with the web address as seen on this slide to complete the Pre-K Parent Survey. Encourage parents to complete the survey through use of school computer labs or a computer kiosk where parents have time and availability of internet access to complete the program review parent survey. Once families have completed the pre-K parent survey, all information will be provided through an Excel document to the county along with a parent survey summary that includes aggregated results. This will be provided to the county with their program review report. 2 weeks prior to the pre-K program review, there are a few things that the team will review. First, they'll look at the last county collaborative plan. This plan was completed in each county the year of the pre-K audit prior to 2012 and 2013. We'll also review any approved addendums and your pre-K data profile that is verified each August. That's submitted via an Excel spreadsheet each year. We'll also look at the West Virginia Pre-K Child Assessment System county data, the current Continuous Quality Improvement Report, but mostly we'll look at the county ECRS-R reports, the compiled reports, to see where you are with that. We'll look at the Comprehensive Universal Pre-K Fiscal Report and verification of signed contracts and budgets submitted each August. The Comprehensive Universal Pre-K Fiscal Report is the report on spending in pre-K in your county that is completed in August of each year. And last, we'll look at attendance data. What we want to see is that you have a system to record attendance in the WVEIS platform. The West Virginia Universal Pre-K Program Review will be completed through a 1 1/2 day process in most cases. Members of the review team will do 2 things on the first day. A member of the team will complete classroom observations in a random sampling of classrooms utilizing the West Virginia Pre-K Observational Walkthrough. Other members of the Pre-K Program Review team will complete the Desktop Program Review. In the Desktop Program Review, each member of the review team that's participating in this part will review policies and procedures that are currently in place. And at the end of the day, the review team will meet together, the whole team will meet together to determine areas of follow-up for the next day of the program review. Policy 2525 has been divided into 4 key areas for the desktop audit. As you can see on this graphic, we've divided each of the sections of Policy 2525 based on the 4 key areas as they apply. Those 4 areas are Universal Pre-K Access, County Collaborative Early Childhood Team, Curriculum Instruction and Child Assessment, and Ongoing Program Assessment and Improvement. We will explore each of these key areas and their subcategories as we go through this webinar. The County Collaborative Early Childhood Team must prepare their materials for a desktop review. In order to assist the county collaborative teams in preparing for the desktop audit, we have developed the Universal Pre-K Desktop Review Checklist. This is a list of materials to assist county teams in organizing county pre-K policies for the desktop audit. We will now explore each of the areas of the checklist. The first key area is program access. Universal Pre-K program access includes eligibility enrollment in Policy 2525. This includes looking at the process for application. How does a family apply for the program? It also looks at how placement is completed in each county. Is there a universal process for placement? We'll also look at logs for placement offers and applications of children who aren't enrolled for whatever reason. We'll look at the county's policies and procedures related to eligibility criteria and required documents for enrollment. These include how the county obtains records of screening and health requirements. We'll also look at documentation of classroom charts, locations available, days and times offered, and explanations as to how classroom selection is made by parent or guardians. If there are any program brochures, parent handbooks, and other pertinent information, we'll also look at those. If you click on the picture of the health check, this link will take you to a health check tool document. It's a frequently asked questions tool for questions about the health check and immunizations. The second section under Universal Pre-K Access is the attendance section. And this is the section where we look at the county's policy for attendance and disenrollment. We also look at the process for entering attendance information into WVEIS for all classrooms. When we look at the county's attendance policies and disenrollment procedures, what we're looking for are indications that the county has a process that supports families when children are chronically absent in a supportive manner, and that is not punitive. If you click on the link of the picture for WVEIS, it will take you directly to the WVEIS page. The third section for the desktop audit under Universal Pre-K Access is School Readiness and Transition. In this section, we'll look at the County Collaborative's transition plan. What process is in place to support families and children coming into and going out of West Virginia Universal Pre-K? Along with that, what are some school readiness goals that the county has in place? Section 2 of the desktop audit is the County Collaborative Early Childhood Team. For this section, we look at documentation of the core team members and their functions as part of the team. We also look at what are additional members of the full county team that may provide valuable input in programming for the pre-K program as well. This includes documentation of meeting participants, agendas for meetings, minutes, sign-in sheets, outcomes, or follow-up. We also look to see documentation to illustrate how children are served in areas where there are no classrooms available. And then we also look at the Find My Pre-K website to ensure that the data that the county provides is what is also being illustrated to the community through Find My West Virginia Pre-K. We also utilize this section to just verify that the original county plan and any addendums illustrate what classrooms are in place and that there are collaborative contracts for all those classrooms that are in place as well. If you click on the graphic, it will take you to a whole page in the Office of Early Learning on collaboration and resources. Transportation is the second section that we look at in the County Collaborative Early Childhood Teams area. In this section, we look at the county policy on transportation and preschool children, and then we look to see how the county provides training to staff and parents on transportation policies. The County Collaborative Early Childhood Team area also includes policies and procedures on meals. When we look at this section, we look to see how policy is met around meals. So how does the county ensure that meals are provided in accordance with the National School Lunch Program, National School Breakfast Program? how do they ensure that the atmosphere is appropriate for preschoolers during meal times, and that it is seen as part of the instructional day. If you click on the apple, it will take you to a memo that was provided from the Department of Education on serving meals to children in pre-K. The next section is personnel. This is where we look at teacher credentials, teacher certification, and temporary and permanent authorization. Each teacher's credentials must be provided at the program review through the desktop audit. If you click on the picture beside personnel, it will take you straight to the Office of Professional Preparation for further guidance on certification. And the last section of the County Collaborative Early Childhood Team is the piece on budget plans and records. This is where we look at how the classroom budgets are determined and how the county articulates money that's reinvested into pre-K, what's coming in for pre-K, and what is everyone on the County Collaborative Team contributing to the cost of pre-K in the county. The picture beside finance will take you to a document called Pre-K Partnerships Collaborating with Community Partnerships, and it provides extensive guidance on looking at finance and how to complete budget worksheets. The third section reviewed through the desktop audit is curriculum instruction and child assessment. The first part that we look at is inclusive settings. We look at the documentation on how the county ensures inclusive environment guidelines that support an array of services for all children. The next section, family engagement, we look at documentation on how diversity is reflected in the classrooms, and families are included and families are encouraged and supported in meaningful involvement in their child's education. So we look at how the county provides guidance and support for families to volunteer in the school or the classroom. This is the area where we also look at the results from the parent survey that's completed online. When the county receives their program review report, they will also receive the data that's compiled from all the families that completed the parent survey. Also, under curriculum instruction and child assessment, we look at environmental design. Classroom observations are really utilized during this portion of the desktop audit as well. What we do is look at the classrooms that we visit, we look at the schedules, we look at lesson plans to see if they match curriculum and if there's evidence of the West Virginia Early Learning Standards framework throughout the environmental design as well. We also look at child guidance procedures. How does the county articulate expectations for positive behavior support with young children? So we look at the policy in place for positive child guidance. If you click on the hands graphic on this page, it will take you straight to the Office of Early Learning Curriculum and Instruction page of our website. The last section of curriculum instruction and child assessment, we look specifically at curriculum and assessment. This is where we look for documentation to illustrate the selected curricular framework for the county. We also look to see if the county is utilizing any supplemental curriculums used and if the county has gone through an adoption process for supplemental curriculums. We look to see illustrations of how the county ensures that the West Virginia Early Learning Standards framework is being utilized as the focal point in each classroom in the pre-K system. We also look to see how the county ensures that the West Virginia Pre-K Child Assessment System is being utilized, including the Early Learning Scale and authentic assessment. What methods are in place to ensure that ongoing authentic assessment is being incorporated in all domains of the Early Learning Standards framework? And finally, we look to see how documentation of the assessment process and how information is being utilized for individualized instruction. If you click on either of the links at the bottom of the page, The link to your left will take you to the Early Learning Standards framework. The link to the right will take you to guidelines on the West Virginia Pre-K Child Assessment System, which includes the Early Learning Scale, completing authentic assessment. The final key area of the program review process is ongoing program assessment and improvement. Within this area are 4 key sections, and the first one is health and safety. What we will look for through the program review is that the county has a process to ensure that all health and safety policies are being met. Are there county health and safety procedures, checklists that are utilized on a regular basis? And how does the county ensure that the class sizes and staff patterns meet Policy 2525? Are there 2 adults per classroom at all times? We also look at record of square footage for usable space for children. Every classroom must have 35 square feet of usable space per enrollee. And we'll look to see the number of enrollees versus the measured amount of usable space for young children enrolled in the program. If you click on the Kids Safe icon, you will pull up a memo concerning pre-K caseloads as a resource. The second part of ongoing program assessment and improvement is record of staff training. We'll look to see the county procedures for ensuring that 15 hours of training has been offered to pre-K staff in the county. We'll also look to see that 6 hours of this training includes preschool special needs training or special education training. We'll also look for the county process for registering trainings with West Virginia STARS Training Registry, which is a requirement of many collaborative programs, including child care and licensed Head Start centers. The third section in ongoing program assessment and improvement addresses the continuous quality improvement plan. Does the county have a continuous quality improvement plan that includes data sources that inform decisions for the county for staff development, purchasing, and programmatic changes? We also look to see how the ECRS-R is included in the continuous quality improvement process. And does the CQI plan include a process for ensuring that the curriculum is implemented with integrity? If you click on the graphic below, it will take you to the page on the Office of Early Learning website that addresses program assessment and includes the Continuous Quality Improvement Plan template. The final section under Ongoing Program Assessment and Improvement addresses program oversight. What the program review team will look to see is if contracts between the community programs and LEA address program oversight. So we've talked about what happens on day 1 with the desktop audit and with the classroom observations. Program review day 2 consists of an interview conducted with members of the pre-K program review team and the County Collaborative Early Childhood Core team. This interview provides the program review team the opportunity to ask any clarifying questions as follow-up from the desktop review and classroom observations. In order to ensure that this process is completed, the Program Assessment Coordinator and County Pre-K Coordinator are required to develop the program review agenda about 2 weeks prior to the review. Within 30 days of completion of the program review process, the County Collaborative Early Childhood team will receive a Universal Pre-K Program Review report. If the county is required to provide any follow-up documentation or clarification, their report will indicate a due date for submission of the information. This will be 30 days from the date the program review was provided to the county team. For additional documentation or information, please visit the West Virginia Pre-K Program Assessment website at the address listed here. It is located on the Office of Early Learning website. For additional information about the program review process, please contact Janet Bach, coordinator for program assessment in the Office of Early Learning, or feel free to contact a member of the West Virginia Pre-K steering team.